Hi everybody, Joe Goodman from Goodman Games here. I'm here to tell you about the BackerKit Holiday Marketplace. This is a collection of 100 or more creators who are all joining together for about 2 weeks to offer some of our products ready to ship on the BackerKit platform. It's kind of like a Black Friday sale, but not exactly, because typically many of the items we are offering would only be available for crowdfunding campaigns. A lot of these are the rarities, the special editions, the foil, the leatherette, the limited runs, the things that we offered previously for crowdfunding campaigns, and in many cases have never offered again. They're not in our online store. We don't bring them to conventions. They are the really special items that you could only get in the last crowdfunding campaign. Now we have a small number left over, in some cases only two. A couple of the items we literally have 2 units, and that's all that remains from this special run for previous crowdfundings. And we're offering them on the BackerKit crowdfunding platform for a limited time during their holiday marketplace. In addition, we're offering stocking stuffers, mystery gifts, mystery t-shirts, an amazing grab bag filled with more than 4 inches of product, mystery dice, all sorts of other special holiday things that might bring a little bit of excitement and a special present under your Christmas tree, so to speak, or under whatever gift giving opportunity you may have. So what I'm going to do in this video is explain to you what we're doing because it is a little different from prior activities on this crowdfunding platform. And it's not just Goodman Games. There are other RPG publishers. There are something like 100 other crowdfunding people participating. So the marketplace is a great place to find all sorts of holiday gifts for you and your family and your friends, your game master, whoever does all the work for your gaming group. This is all ready to ship items, but at least speaking for Goodman Games, we can't guarantee it will arrive in time for Christmas. Once the campaign ends, we have to do the pledge manager, then turn around and start shipping, and it's going to be a lot of pledges to ship. So it may or may not arrive in time for Christmas, but at the very least, you can tell your loved one or your friend or family or game master that you did get them something cool, and we'll ship it out as soon as we can. We are also offering friendly international shipping, which means we will ship via a freight forwarder to a local market fulfillment company for the UK, Australia, and Canada. Again, won't arrive in time for Christmas, but will arrive in a way that, in many cases, minimizes some of the local duties, customs, tariffs, etc., that you have to pay because it's shipped from inside the market. So let's explain what this campaign actually is. It launches on Tuesday, the 18th. Let me double check that date before I commit to that. Yes, Tuesday, the 18th. So you might be watching this ahead of the launch or after it's launched. Um, it's a lot of crowdfunding exclusives for DCC, RPG, and 5e. It includes, among other things, mystery gifts, as I mentioned, mystery teas, mystery grab rags, mystery dice sets, and things like, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a sample of some of the items that are in the project. Then I'll actually screen share and show you the project page ahead of the launch. But things like our Adventures on the Purple Planet crowdfunding package. So you can currently buy some of these items in your local hobby and game store. You can buy them online in our online store, but you can't get all of these items. This includes the complete crowdfunding package, or at least all that remains of it. Some of these items, have been used already to fill backers, but those that remain. So you'll get Wonders of the Weirdling Sun, which was the stretch goal booklet, which was only available to crowdfunding backers. Of course, they got it for free. You'll have to pay for it, but you do get the Black Friday discount of 40%. And in this case, you get a few of the special items like the Crown of Stars, the Death Orm Swarm, some of the special handouts that only went to crowdfunding backers, and the Doom Quest of Delisle Croom, Shadows of the Wasteland, the Flexi Disc. Like there's all this stuff in this one package pulled together, pretty close to what you would have gotten if you'd actually pledged for the original crowdfunding. Other random examples. We have Crypt of the Devilich for both 5e and DCC RPG. I think shown here is the 5e package. And this includes the complete set of stretch goals for this project that includes the mysterious lost level, the player handout booklet, some of the stickers and posters and other sort of handouts you would have gotten if you had pledged for the original and gotten the original stretch goal package. For Dark Tower, the stretch goal package is included, and that includes the special map that originally only went to crowdfunding backers, the Goodman Games Gazette, the print by Janelle Jackways, some of the other special accessory items that were included in the stretch goal package, or some of the add-ons to the original campaign. For DCC 100 Music of the Spheres, this includes the stretch goal package. And actually, this was an amazing stretch goal package. I think there's only like 100 or so of these remaining. And by the way, if you're wondering why we have these remaining, if you're a crowdfunding backer, that's pretty much always the best way to support our projects. You typically get a discount up front and you get all the stretch goals, typically for free. And when we ship stuff, we go through the postal service, and sometimes things don't arrive as intended. Sometimes the mail gets lost. Sometimes things get damaged in transit, and you, of course, expect Goodman Games to reship it, so we do. But what that means is if we had, for example, 100 backers who were to get stretch goals, we actually usually print 105 or 110 of that stretch goal pack because we know that some are going to be lost in transit or damaged and so on. By the time we're done doing all the reships and the corrections and sort of fixing all the problems, sometimes we have a couple left over. Sometimes we have literally two, which is one of the items we're going to discuss here. So when we have these extra stretch goal items, it's typically that buffer stock that was used to handle, all the damages and complaints and things like that when things didn't arrive as intended originally. But for DCC 100 Music of the Spheres, you'll get the original box set with that amazing spinning wheel map. It actually has 4 wheels that spin to form the dungeon, and the dungeon moves as the players explore. It's an amazing dungeon, just to wax poetic. I love this adventure. As the wheels turn, it also cranks a giant gear that turns a vat of pure chaos at the base of the mountain. So the characters and players eventually come to realize that as they're exploring the dungeon and causing these pieces of the dungeon to move and connections to form so they can go across platforms, they eventually realize they are also churning pure chaos, and it will release a chaos dragon that will destroy the entire world if they're not careful. So with this adventure, we term or we coined the phrase not just TPK for total party kill, but TUK for total universe kill. If things don't go well, they do destroy the universe. So hopefully your players can solve this dungeon without destroying the universe. But anyway, if you pledge for this as part of the backer kit, one of the 100 or so remaining copies, you'll get the stretch goal pack that not only includes the original spinning wheel dungeon from the main box set, but you get a blank spinning wheel dungeon, which is super cool. You can actually design your own dungeon and put together the wheels so they fit together. There aren't many opportunities to do that kind of stuff. Really, there's no other place you can get a dungeon that spins like that you can design yourself. You also get the poster of over 100 covers. You get the Goodman Games Gazette. You get all the other stuff that was in that amazing stretch goal pack. So again, this is just an example. There's a ton of items on the crowdfunding page. Dungeon Crawl Classics Dying Earth. In this case, the original adventures were printed with a special foil treatment if you backed the crowdfunding. If you bought them in stores, they did not have the foil. If you bought them in the crowdfunding, they had a special foil treatment over the logo. So we have, I think out of the original run of 6 or 7 of those adventures, we have exactly 3 that still have the foil treatment. There's like maybe 30 copies left of each of these 3. So if you pledge for this bundle, you get the Dying Earth box set and the foil edition of, I think it's 3 of these adventures, plus a little pamphlet with a small encounter that only the original crowdfunding backers got. But what's really cool is if you pledge for this, we have 2, and I mean literally only 2 copies remaining of the stretch goal box set. So backers of that original crowdfunding got not just the box set they pledged for, they got an entire second box set with hundreds of pages of content that it's actually really cool. Doug painted the cover art. So if you put the 2 covers together, it forms what's called a diptych or a 2-frame image. So you can put the 2 box sets together to form a continuous image. The second stretch goal box set has a whole other booklet inside it of 128 pages, if I remember correctly, several additional pamphlets, a lot of additional content, and this amazing foil flooded spine, which looks incredible. But there's only 2 copies left after we filled all the crowdfunding backers. So if you pledge for that main Dying Earth stretch goal, or sorry, box set and stretch goal items, you can then add on 1 or 2 of these original box sets, and then they're all gone. So everything in this holiday marketplace is limited. This is probably the most limited because we have literally only 2 copies left. I think for Dark Tower, we have about 15 of the campaign coins that can be added on. Maybe about a dozen of the dice sets. There's a lot of add-ons that are very limited in quantity from the original crowdfunding. And then among other things, X-Crawl, for example, we have a complete run of the original adventures. And again, if you pledge through the crowdfunding, you got the version with the foil. So we have some of these remaining. So if you pledge here for the crowdfunding pack, you'll get the foil editions of the adventure that have foil in the logo. You also get the X-Crawl Extras, which was the stretch goal booklet that originally only went to the crowdfunding backers. They're the only ones who have received this. You'll get the other stretch goal items like the Goodman Games Gazette, the sticker sheet, and so on. So those are just some examples. Now let me sort of share my screen, and I want to show you what things look like on the page so you know how to pledge. So we're now looking at the actual crowdfunding page itself. You might be watching this a day ahead of time and it hasn't gone live yet, or you might be watching this after it's live. Either way, go to the URL down in the chat, and we've pinned it there, and you can go pledge now. When you go here, you will see this page, go to the pledge levels, and there's a lot of information on this page that tells you all about all the different things you can pledge for. Oh, I forgot to mention stretch goals. So we will be giving out stretch goals for roughly every 100 backers. We're going to throw in some sort of miscellaneous swag or bonus item from a previous crowdfunding campaign. So if we hit 100 backers, the first 100 get this. It's called the Wet Noodle Pit Trap. It's kind of a special Grimtooth trap that was originally included with the Grimtooth package. If we hit 200, 300, etc., we'll be putting in additional swag items, which you can see on the Achievements tab. But first, we'll go to the pledge levels just to show you your options. So as you come here, pick which crowdfunding pack you want to pledge for, whether it's Dying Earth, Purple Planet, Devilich in DCC or 5e, Dark Tower, DCC 5e, X-Crawl, DCC 100, Music the Spheres is Chaos. Oh, I forgot to mention Dungeon Denizens. We have some of those original. Oh, actually, this one's really cool. We have the original crowdfunding Reptile Hide edition. It actually has 16 bonus pages that aren't in the stores edition. So if you get this edition of the 550 something page book, you get 16 bonus pages. You have a total of, I think it's 555 monsters, if I remember correctly, that are in the crowdfunding edition. And those 16 bonus pages don't appear in the regular retail edition. Plus, you get this amazing textured foil deboss cover, which is just amazing. And the stretch goal pack and some other stuff. There's 2 bonus monsters, the Mesmer Drake and the, forgetting the other monster. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff in that pack. We also have a DCC hardcover, which contains 6 or 7 holiday adventures and the add-on access. If you want to get the mystery dice, the mystery grab bags, those sorts of things, pledge for the add-on access, then you can go to the add-ons tab and get the appropriate add-on. The stocking stuffer grab bag of mystery books is $100. What we're going to do is take one of these blue gift bags. They unfold to about 4.5 inches or so. And our pledges, we will stuff it with at least a 4-inch high stack of books. Depending on whether it's floppy adventures or hardcovers, it's going to be worth roughly $250 to $400 in MSRP face value. You'll get it for $100. It'll be your gift bag that you can open under the Christmas tree. We're also doing mystery DCC dice sets and mystery t-shirts. For the t-shirts, order by size. We have small, medium, large, etc., up to 4XL, and I think 2XL tall and 3XL tall if you happen to wear a tall size. In every case, they're limited. We counted up all the random t-shirts we have left over in the warehouse. 1 of this style, 2 of this style, 1 left over from Gen Con, 1 left over from Gary Con. So the exact number varies by size, but get them while you can. And then depending on what you pledge for, if you pledge for certain pledges, you'll have access to, for example, the Mojo tokens, the Dark Tower dice, the Flexi Disc, some of the VTT packs, the so on and so forth. If you want to pledge for multiple crowdfunding packs, pick your main pledge, and then you can add on here the various options for other crowdfunding pledge packs. Finally, let's go to the Achievements tab. So if you go to Community, then choose Achievements, you'll see them. And this gives you a sense of what the stretch goal items will be. So for example, if we hit 700 backers, each of the backers will get 1 random swag item until we run out. We'll eventually run out of swag. That's why it says first 700 backers. If we hit 600 backers, we have a bunch of random road crew posters left over from years past. So everybody gets a road crew poster until we run out. We think it'll cover about 600 backers. Oh, 500 backers. This is a great story. We have these Grimtooth dice. You can see what one of them looks like here. A friend of mine in the industry texted me once that he was cleaning out his warehouse and he found a couple hundred of these dice. And he said to himself, who am I going to sell these dice to? And he's like, I know who. Joe Goodman will buy these. So I brought cash to a convention. I think I paid 25 cents a die or 50 cents a die. All I remember is I had a lot of cash. It was a couple $100. I eventually walked past him in the hall. I said, John, you got my dice? He said, yeah, Joe, you got my cash. So we traded cash for dice, and these dice are what I got. So we're giving these away for free. If we get 500 backers, until we run out of dice, everybody's going to get a Grimtooth die. And yeah, it has Grimtooth's face and says dead. What more could you want? Then if we have 400 backers, we have a bunch of random DCC day posters left over. So everybody gets a DCC day poster, 1 per backer until we run out. 300 backers, we have a couple Caverns of Thracia patches left over from that crowdfunding. So again, people get Caverns of Thracia patches until we run out. 200 backers, we have a random issue of the Goodman Games Gazette left over. About 200 copies remain. So everybody gets one until we run out. And the first 100 backers, as I mentioned, get the Grimtooth Wet Noodle Trap. So that's the campaign. Please pledge now if you're interested in getting some of these crowdfunding one-of-a-kind items. As a reminder, the best way to get our new stuff going forward is always to pledge for the crowdfunding. Then you get the stretch goals generally for free. You get all sorts of bonus items. You get the foil edition, you get the special edition with the bonus pages, etc. But if you missed any of these the first time around, now is your chance to grab some. So if you enjoyed this video, please like the video. Please subscribe to the Goodman Games channel. It helps us know that you want stuff like this in the future, and we'll be sure to provide it. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat below, or of course, go to the crowdfunding page and we'll try to address them there as well. Thanks a lot, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.